I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the minutes of April 7th, 2025.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Nothing under awards and proclamation. Public hearing, 5:30, set for bid openings. And the first one is project 250102.
Two bids for you, Mayor, for project 250102. First bid to open is Strata Corporation. Bid bond is included, as well as contractor's license and an authority to sign verification form. Bid from Strata Corporation. Total is $1,021,098.10. Read it again, $1,021,098.10. There. Second bid for project 250102 is from Central Specialties Incorporated. Bid bond is included, as well as contractor's license. Bid is $1,226,998.25. Again, $1,226,998.25.
Okay, what's the wishes of the commission?
Make a motion to refer to engineering, to Mike Grassgard to look them over and make the decision.
Okay, Commissioner Pierce, is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp? Okay, any further discussion?
For all the bids tonight that are referred to engineering, we won't make a recommendation for the award until the next meeting. That'll give us time to put them in spreadsheets, verify all the numbers, calculations, put together a bid tab for the commission to review. So the recommendation will come forward at the next meeting.
Okay. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Next item is project 250103.
All right. Three bids for project 250103. First bid opening is Asphalt Preservation Company, Inc. Bid bond is included as well as the contractor's license. Bid included is $406,910.26.
Say it again, please.
$406,910.26. The next bid is from Morris Seal Coat and Trucking, Inc. They are bonded and contractor's license is included. Bid included is $444,946.67. Again, $444,946.67. Third bid for bid 250103, Aztec Corporation, Asphalt Surface Technologies Corporation.
Wanted to make sure you didn't
You
get
did a
that
good job doing that one. Contractor's license is included and they are bonded. The bid included $422,547.67, $422,547.67.
Okay. Wishes of the commission.
motion to refer to engineering.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. And the last one is project 250104.
Two bids, Mayor. First bid that will open is from Strata Corporation. Contractor's license is included, authority to sign. And a bid bond. bid included is $292,050.35. $292,050.35. And next bid for project 250104 is Tri-State Paving and Concrete Incorporated. Got multiple envelopes here. Contractor's license is included. Certificate of liability insurance, workforce safety proof. And contract bond check included. Bid included is $428,986.15. $428,986.15.
Difference. Okay. Okay, that's it.
Motion to refer to engineering.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. We're gonna get that stamp yet?
Right.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, visitors or delegations, nothing on the agenda. We'll go into commissioner portfolios and Commissioner Pierce.
Chief, what do you got?
We'd like to get some out-of-state travel approved for 2 people to go to Wisconsin. There's a class over there where they can get trained on how to do preventative maintenance on our auto extrication gear, or not our gear, but our equipment. So it should save us roughly $2,000 a year, having them go over there and do that, so we can have them do it later.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Okay.
State travel.
We have a motion by Commissioner Pierce to approve out-of-state travel for training.
Second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Anything else?
We got SCBA training, maintenance training here Wednesday and Thursday, so we'll be able to continue to test our SCBA's. We don't have to send them off. We sent in all the radio reimbursement stuff to the state, so we're looking to hopefully get some checks back here in the near future for about $55,500. So
Yes.
That's it?
that's what I got.
I spoke with, it's during the last week during the Lake Region Law Enforcement Center Board meeting. I was informed that there was going to be a new, what they called a CRU opening through the Health and Human Services here in Devils Lake. I did some research on it, got a call back from Mike Schock. He's the clinical director for Health and Human Services, working through our Lake Region, brain just went not blank. Human Service Center. They're going to be opening what's called a Critical Stabilization Unit, or CSU. They're going to have, they had one here many years ago, I guess, but they're going to reopen a new one They'll have what they're going to call a sit, stand, lay area for detox. So if PD finds, they said you were in on some of those meetings. I didn't know if you were there or not, but
Early on, they talked about it last year.
they're going to have an area where the PD, they make it, depending on their blood alcohol level, if there's a certain level they have to, you can't go above this other level. They can drop them off there to recover and sober up. It's going to be staffed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's one help for us with the lack of detox in the area.
Great.
They're also going to have 10 beds for a critical care area for their clients. And they're going to be putting 5 beds in there for transitional living as well, all run through Human Service Center. They have no open date set as of yet, but they said they are opening it. So they asked Mike to get back with me and just let me know what an open date is so I can make you guys aware of what's going on. I had the meeting with the F5 project and Human Service Center for our transitional housing. We're going to have another meeting. He wanted the CEO of F5 wanted to have the staff here be a part of it, and I'm waiting for Tiffany Buckmeyer to coordinate that next meeting so we can decide. You know, they didn't want to make a commitment on anything until we got some more information from Tiffany and him and more talking. But so that's where they're at for that. So it's really not much to talk about right now for another crime task force meeting until we get some more information to go on. But I want to reiterate that if anybody on that task force has anything they want to talk about or present, just give me or Rob a call and we'll make sure it gets taken care of. I reached out again to, I knew I was told about why we don't have a detox in our jail, but I reached out to Star Clements Root to just give me the laydown of why, so we know and then the community can watch this video and understand why we don't have one there. Basically, we don't have medical staff on duty 24 hours a day, and that's basic reason why, because jail standard 59 through DOCR, which is intoxication management and social detoxification, says that correctional facilities must have a written policy and procedure for intoxication management that includes a definition of intoxication. If correctional facilities hold individuals who appear intoxicated or under the influence of alcohol or controlled substances, correctional facilities may not hold an individual for more than 24 hours solely for intoxication management under North Dakota Century Code. And it gives the Century Code description there. Before a correctional facility may hold a person for intoxication management, a licensed medical provider must provide a medical clearance from care signed by a physician, physician's assistant, or nurse practitioner, and the correctional facility must ensure it can provide a trained staff person who within constant hearing distance of the intoxicated person and place the individual on close observation until that person no longer qualifies for intoxication management as defined by the facility policy. A correctional facility may only provide social detox if the correctional facility meets all the requirements of North Dakota Administration Code, Chapter 7509, 8.1. So basically, we don't have a physician that's willing
And
to.
it's unfunded mandate.
Yes.
We have to pay for it.
Yes. So that's why we currently do not have a detox anymore within our facility. So I just wanted to make that clear. It's not that we don't want it. It's not that we're not trying. That's basically the way it is. And that's all I have for that. Mike, can you do me a favor? And, well, has there been any talk about painting the east underpass? You said last year you guys they were talking about painting them so it all matches and they're not 10 different colors. Was that any more talk about that?
I don't recall any recent conversations
Okay.
about painting.
I
You
thought-
know, the area, I mean, there's that area that probably has 10 coats of paint on it.
Yeah. I was just wondering with Devil's Run coming in, if there's any way to try to clean that up just a little bit and also try to spray and clean the west underpass too. All the bird droppings all down that beautiful. I mean, it was a lot of money, just to try and clean it up a little bit before Devil's Run.
Yeah, we have talked about the west underpass and cleaning that. So that's on a list. The east underpass, I'll look at what we can do. as far as-
I mean, I know I've put a lot of paint on there, but I wanted just to know if you guys had planned on making it one color so it's not patchworked everywhere.
Was that from graffiti? Is that what
Yeah.
most of it is?
Yeah, it's, some graffiti is very difficult to get off, so you end up covering it up rather than trying to
Yeah, and I
remove
put
it.
about 10 coats on it.
Didn't they have some young kids that were painting it for us or helping us out with that?
That was
Oh,
me.
That was, oh, that was you. Oh, young kids,
Young
okay.
kids, yeah.
Early on. Yeah,
Okay.
I was in a fight with I was in a battle with local graffiti artists. I wanted to be more stubborn than them. Every time they would paint on it, I'd paint over it.
Yeah,
Paint
okay,
it, I'd paint over it.
okay.
You know, I just couldn't stand looking at the crap. But no, I was just thinking with you know, the people coming back into Devil's Lake again this year just to try and clean up some areas that they're going to be passing through a lot. So,
I agree.
other than that, Mayor, any questions? That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Eulenkamp.
Mike, streets.
Really nothing to report other than work is ongoing in alleys, doing some pothole patching, and as soon as the cracks dry out a little bit, they have to do some crack sealing, especially on the roadway areas that we opened bids on tonight for the chip seals. We want to get out, get the crack sealed up before the chip seal. That's what's going on the streets. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Okay. Commissioner Hatch.
Mike, I'd ask you about sanitation, but I see Corey's here.
Well, all I have is the spring cleanup starts next week.
Perfect.
That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things are going great. I think the alleys are drying up pretty good from what I see.
Yeah, I was going to ask, are they going to just keep it on the curb and then just do the spring pickup, or?
It's always a confusion. It depends on the alleys. I mean, even if they look dry, they still might not hold the weight of a heavy truck, so.
Yeah, we'd have to make that perfectly clear to the city,
Yeah.
because every year it's always a big confusion. You have
What's your
stuff-
tentative plan for going back to the alley, or the end of May or mid-May?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
It's so hard to tell because they
Yeah.
look dry, but you know, those garbage trucks are so heavy, they.
Yeah,
And there's a few alleys, I'm guessing, that still have a little frost in them.
they're looking good right now.
Right, on the surface,
Yeah,
and for vehicle traffic.
right.
Hopefully within a couple weeks, we can keep getting this 50, 60 degree weather.
Thanks, Corey. Mike, anything from engineering?
I'll put together bid tabs for the commission to review and have recommendations for the next meeting for our projects for this year. All the bids were within the engineer's estimate, so pretty good to hear about the bids that we received. That's all I have for engineering tonight.
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Rob?
Planning Commission is meeting on Thursday morning. They've got 2 public hearings that they'll be doing. One is going to be for a request to rezone some land along Highway 2 west of town from ag to residential rural suburban. Someone wants to build a single family home out there. The other is going to be to reconvene the public hearing for the zoning change request for Pine Meadows. So if anyone wants any more information about those before the meeting, they can feel free to stop by the offices here. We can get it for them, or they can show up for the meeting, 7 o'clock on Thursday morning.
Refresh me on what the Pine Meadows.
Yeah.
What was Pine Meadows again?
So Pine Meadows are looking to rezone it, so they'd be rezoning it from single family to residential low density. Essentially looking to maybe do some townhomes or something along that lines out there.
And that's located,
Out there by the
Up by the airport.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So both of those are in the extraterritorial area. They're not within the city itself, but still within the area that we control.
Get down there. Oh, okay.
Dominic? Anything from the airport?
Not really, nothing really excited to report. So
Okay,
Still working on that direct flight to Denver.
let's start.
that's gonna be coming June 26th. We're gonna lose one flight, but they're contracted for 12 flights, so.
Awesome.
It's gonna be so nice.
Better connections, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dominic.
Commissioner Janowski.
Mike, what about sewers and water?
We have 2 open positions in utilities. Joe's been reviewing some applicants with that, applications with that. Tomorrow, we're having a little department head meeting up at the water treatment facility. So we'll have a little review there. I think there's a lot of people within the city that want to tour the water plant as well and talk about chlorine residuals and things like that. So
Mhm.
we're gonna have a little conversation. It's gonna be kind of fun.
I want to,
Oh.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
That's all I have for utilities commissioner, unless you have questions.
Thanks, Mike.
That's it. Okay. Chief,
Commissioner Pierce, I was gonna ask you a question on the detox, you said sit, stand, and lay. Did they give you a number? Mr. Shaw give you a number?
Nothing yet, not a number of how many or what.
We've been waiting on this since last.
Okay.
fall.
Any questions you have, just shoot me an email and I'll get back in contact and make sure I get you all the information you want.
Did they tell you who got the contract?
Yes, but I can't remember their name. It was such a, you know, he was
I thought it
so
was the same
excited.
group that previously had it, but I wasn't.
I think it is too. I just think, I'll find out for sure and I'll let
Sure.
you know. But yeah, no, it's an exciting thing. It's just gonna be right there by the residential reentry center behind there, so.
Right, we'll just have to work more hand in hand with them.
Yeah, it's gonna help a lot with stuff that's going on, you know.
Aside from that, we just picked up our new squad cars. I
Mhm.
spoke to the mayor earlier. They're at Mid States in Fargo, so they get outfitted. And it's about $16,000 per vehicle now to get outfitted. The cost of, it's what we used to pay for a vehicle
Yeah.
probably 10, 15 years. Sergeant Graywater this week is in his third week of LPO, and that's Leadership in Police Organizations. So looking forward to getting him back to work. And then in 2 weeks, he, along with Officer Brocky, is going to Blue Shield tactical training, and that's for training for defensive tactics instructor, which we've been without for probably a little over a year and a half now. And that's pretty much all I got from you.
Okay.
For you, unless you have any questions.
Anybody? No? Thank you.
Well, we do have Women in Law Enforcement Summit that's going on too, on May 5th, and we have our female officers that are attending that.
And that's
in-
where?
And that's in Fargo as well.
Okay.
It's a 2-day summit.
Okay,
That's all I got for you.
great. Thank you. Spencer?
Mayor Mo, members of the commission, just wanted to give you a quick update. Next meeting, we'll have just a couple ordinances. You know, we talked about nuisances. We were talking about grass, junk, garbage, blighted structures, habitual offenders. We have second readings of ordinance that kind of pertain to the grass and the habitual offenders. We met as a team 2 weeks ago, right after the last meeting, reviewed our ordinances related to junk, or garbage, and then kind of the junk, the appliances, car type of stuff. Feel like we have everything we need in the ordinances to get the job done. It's more of an enforcement coordination thing amongst all the departments, which we talked at length about, and I'll give you a quick update. But we'll have a couple ordinances. They're non-substantive. It's just rearranging a couple things, striking out a couple words, really non-substantive, but we'll have first readings at the next meeting for you. As far as the integrated cooperation between the departments, this is what we arrived at, and just for record, so Chief Toso, Chief Bennett, and Mike were in the meeting. And so for, we'll say, garbage that's easily collected, or even junk that can be easily collected and compiled using normal manual labor, the sanitation department is lending their services, saying, hey, we will go and get it done. You know, one of their concerns is obviously, well, if there's a disgruntled and angry property owner about taking their stuff despite the repeated warnings and the repeated notices, that if we suspect that may happen, we'll coordinate and work with Chief Toso, and they'll have a squad car in the area just to help diffuse the situation. And then as far as determining what needs to go and what does not, that's going to be the nuisance officer, Chief Bennett, is going to be responsible for that. So, you know, kind of jokingly, when you watch a detective show and all the different agencies shows up and they say, this is my crime scene. No, this is my crime scene. No, this is we made clear it's the nuisance officer's scene, and he's in direct control of it. Sanitation is helping out and getting the stuff, anything that can be used, given manual labor. Now, for we'll say bigger items that would require heavy equipment, we arrived at the determination that what we would do is we would provide written notice to the property saying it's your responsibility to get that removed. Because, for example, this spring, we don't want to put heavy equipment. We don't want to bring heavy equipment onto somebody's property, muddy up all their yard while we're doing. We just want to stay away from that. So if it requires heavy equipment to remove, that's on the property owner's responsibility to get it removed. If they don't have it removed by that date, here's an infraction. Don't get it removed by the next day, here's an infraction, and now we're into criminal court for a B misdemeanor. If they don't follow suit. There's also the potential that upon recommendation of the city attorney, we could get into a civil lawsuit versus City of Devils Lake versus said property owner. Can handle that on a case-by-case basis, given the judgment between the city commission and city attorney in that regard. But that is what we arrived as far as an operations sense goes. Everybody is aligned, everybody's coordinated. We're going to take it seriously. We're going to do a good job and work well together. And then we'll welcome you guys any questions on that front. Because, talking with Nate, as far as the ordinance go, we felt good where the ordinances were. It just needed to be better coordination amongst us all. And so that's where we arrived at, and we'll welcome any questions.
Why not go from the two written warnings down to the one? Is there a reason why you have to have a warning, then another warning, then an
I
infraction?
believe
Because
that was
then
in the
it's,
century code.
Well, to be a habitual offender, you have to get twice, right? So if you're a habitual offender, you've done it once, and then the habitual, you get an infraction, and then it was an infraction, another
remember
one.
Jason addressing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And really what he did, remember the ordinances, which we'll have the second readings of, it was reference to state century code is directly what it was. It wasn't, we didn't lay out our own schedule. It
yeah,
was-
no, I didn't know if it was talking about.
So after the 2 infractions, then it's a B misdemeanor.
We would have the ability to charge a B misdemeanor.
And one more thing added in there, Attorney Saylor said it could go to an A misdemeanor after that B misdemeanor. But that is an important record, and they have more teeth before the civil thing would hit.
Okay.
Because it would be easier, I think, is what he was letting us know about. So I think the A misdemeanor would be the option prior to the civil lawsuit part.
And so, team, did I miss anything? Good? Okay.
So at what point does the larger item, that's gonna require heavy equipment, at what point does that get removed off the property? Do we go in and do that after so many,
Well, they would,
if they
Chief
don't
Tosa,
do it?
yeah, Chief Tosa will probably have a better idea than I, right? But we get an infraction, if they pay it or they don't, they're gonna have their day in court, and the judge is gonna have to rule whether we're in favor or they're not. And once they rule in our favor, we would have avenues to get it on.
Okay, so not
Either
until
we-
that point, okay.
I would suspect that would be
It's
the,
crazy to me that you
It's
gotta
gotta
go
be a
through all
time
that.
frame,
It is.
How much-
It's ridiculous, because that could
How long
be, it
would
could
you
be a
have
year
after
before
that
that
first
there's even
infraction?
gone.
We're fighting it right now.
I believe there'd be another
So it's
five.
really not improving it.
No.
So the first
Then
notice,
depending
so
on-
the first notice that is sent out, how many days from that notice to the first infraction?
We actually got that, so it's down to 5 days instead of the 8 days.
Okay, right?
So, but in the spirit of wanting to work with the community, if they get a hold of us, we'll work with them if they have a date that's out past that. As long as they have a plan to clean it up and it's cleaned up by that date,
There's
we won't
flexibility.
give them too much grief.
I think
Once that
too much
first one
grace
is-
is given, period, because you're gonna run into a year by the time court gets done.
Right.
And then after that, even if this person that has this property, who owns that property that you gotta get a hold of and everything else is out of state, then that's what, another however months. It's really not, I understand you guys, great job, but it's not improving anything.
But grace is given more so to just a one-time person. Usually the habitual, you're tired of giving them grace, I would think.
All right. No, I
I
appreciate
mean,
it.
I think if anything administratively, having these conversations, we know that the city commission's priority is to be firm with this, which tells us as staff that we have a license to be firm, if that makes sense.
If
So-
I had my way, it would have been taken care of just that quick.
Yeah.
So if they don't respond to the first infraction,
Yeah.
what's the time frame between the
5 days.
first and the second?
5
So
days.
it's,
Yep.
they're both 5 days?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
got
it
some
might
areas
cost
that,
them, which is not currently costing them that.
I get it. I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah.
And then,
we'll fix it if it isn't working.
yes. And there was something else we talked about at that meeting as well, Mayor, about possible looking at ordinance for building exteriors downtown. If you own a business that isn't open and it's closed, to make sure you keep that.
That's coming up, yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that was
Yep.
still part of
That's
the.
gonna be, down the road. He wanted to just get some of this stuff done. and-
Yep,
and
yep. I
work
just want to make
into
sure it was still on the radar.
Oh, yeah,
all.
that's on my to-do
I
list.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Do we have anything regarding, now with special pickup coming, of course, now you've got people driving around picking stuff out of other people's piles? Do
Corey.
we have anything about, I mean,
Corey, if you're gonna
regarding
talk,
that,
Corey,
or?
come up to the, if you're gonna, just, because people that listening can't hear you.
The free flea market that
Yeah,
happens every
I
year.
mean,
Well, the problem is, I don't think we have an ordinance for it of any type.
Do we
And
wanna go there?
50% of the people like people
we don't
collecting
wanna do
stuff, 50% don't.
Yeah.
But you get into it where people collect something in this pile, and if they don't like it,
Yeah,
by the
like
time
you
they get to the
say,
next pile,
somebody
they
else's
put it in
junk
that
is somebody
pile.
else's treasure. Yeah.
Or like one year I had a Tupperware bin.
It's
full of-
irritating, but
Full of
it's-
garbage that my wife had, they took the garbage, pulled it out,
Exactly.
poured it out and kept the Tupperware bin.
Yeah.
And then we get blamed because we did that when we picked the pile up. But I think we have
That is
someone,
littering, right? So that is different, but, you know, we don't have anything, for me, whatever effort can be done to keep it out of the landfill,
Yeah.
right? Recycle. And we're gonna have a conversation about recycling. If you didn't like that chair, but somebody else thought that was the nicest chair on earth, and they take that chair, great, but you can't deposit it in somebody else's pile. right?
well, that's the problem though. You're not, it's not being
Do
regulated.
things.
Well, I think we have a scavenging ordinance for the landfill, but that's, has nothing to do
I don't know
with
how
it.
you control it. You
There's
can't
no way you
police
can.
it. I don't think we can, as much as,
You need to put an officer in every alleyway.
then you know what you're
I
talking.
just kind of
We got
feel
a lot
like
of
the
volunteer
majority
firemen that
of
can
these
help us
people
out.
that are,
Okay, more law
the
enforcement.
majority of these people that are picking up this stuff in piles, they probably have enough crap of their own, they don't need anything.
We actually,
They
used-
should,
we actually used to have a group of people that went around and
I agree.
cut extension cords off every appliance there was for the copper.
Oh, yeah.
So how many extension cords would it take to make a pound of copper? But in doing so, they ripped the piles up. So
Yeah.
there's
That's the
good
big
to it and
complaint.
bad.
Yeah, it's an unwanted evil that happens every year.
Yeah, it does.
And it's for that short period of time too.
We usually just work through it.
Okay,
I've been asked, so I just thought that I would ask,
Yeah,
because I didn't
sure.
know.
You bet. Thanks, Spencer. Just a couple things to add to, I'll be attending an open house at Runnings on Friday afternoon at 1:00. That'll be exciting. And the hospital, we still haven't come to a conclusion on that. And I know I've been asked quite a bit, but we're still waiting for the Vatican's approval. And I don't believe it has anything to do with the Pope, so him dying is not going to change anything. It's just a procedure that needs to be followed through their diocese or whatever they call themselves. And so until we hear it, everything is working kind of as altru as we speak, but it's just not official yet. So, but it's going to happen at some point in time. And I think I did mention they did hire a CEO. I don't know what his start date is, but they did hire a young man to come to town. So anyway, that's the update on that. Any questions about anything? Not, we'll move on to old business. We have nothing. Consent agenda, nothing. New business. First item is curbside recycling. Spencer.
Mayor Mo, members of the commission, we have quite a few people involved in our sanitation department as well as Lake Region Corp here. As we've been talking for quite a while, we're undergoing a kind of a slow, gradual realignment with our sanitation department. Talking about automated truck, getting new cans. We've talked about the recycling services. We've talked about special pickup as well. But we are reaching in kind of an inflection point, we'll say, on the recycling front. Current supervisor Rodney for Lake Region Corp is here. And he's helps with the recycling, the curbside, as well as the baling. And he's set to retire this summer. And the vehicle for curbside recycling is 30 years old now. It's on its last leg. That's older than me for those that are counting. The new truck's going to be $350,000 to $400,000 for something like that. And it's not to mention the talk that we've had about the recycling market and how it's completely non-existent for anything other than cardboard. We spend more money sending it there than it is for getting recycled. Send it to Minneapolis, so then it gets sent to the coast on diesel trucks. It's not a very efficient process. So given all these factors, plus the desire to keep our mutually beneficial partnership between Lake Region Corp and the city, while also kind of dealing with the realities that we are facing, want to propose an amended agreement. Not for your approval tonight. We didn't want to bring this to you and ask you to vote on it on the first night. But we will bring an amended agreement for your guys' consideration at the next meeting, where we would move away from at a date in the future, whatever is mutually agreed upon between Rodney and Lake Region Corp whenever he retires, to transition away from the curbside recycling and have recycling out on the hill for people to utilize the recycling services, where we would still continue to collect everything: cardboard, glass, aluminum, paper, those sorts of things. You talk to people that have been involved in this for a while, Corey, Rodney, they all say it's been a good run. But the over 30 years of running the program, given the state of the current recycling market and the capital investment that Lake Region Corp would have to make to continue the program, we feel that this is a mutually beneficial way to continue the recycling program, but however, face the realities that we are facing here. And it primarily has to do with geography, is what it really does, and the market abroad. So for any questions, I'll bring Alyssa's up here, Alyssa and Rodney from Lake Region Corp, if they want to say anything. And then we have obviously Corey from the sanitation department, and then Mike here from Public Works, answer any other questions. So if you guys want to say anything.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When we started this thing, it was Fred Bott sitting there.
Yep.
Then it went to Dick Johnson, and now it's Jim. But no, we hope we never let anybody down with Lake Region Corporation. We've been picking it up for the last 30 and a half years. And then on the off days, we were bailing and everything. And we thought everything was going good. And Lake Region Corporation would like to continue, bailing the cardboard. The contract will be all different. There won't be no truck expense, so I'm not sure how they're going to budget that or whatever they're going to do. But I just want to thank all the commissioners. The city of Devils Lake is a great place to live. It's a great place to contract with, the city of Devils Lake. You could not do service for a better outfit than all of you good commissioners. Corey, Mike, Spencer, they presented this a while back to us, and we kind of agreed with it, and we all come upon mutual agreements, and it's probably going to be the only way to go right now with the market being down so low. But the cardboard, Lake Region Corporation would love to continue contracting at a different rate and different schedulings and stuff like that.
Well, I want to commend you for your years of service and dedication to that project and keeping a truck running for 30 years. Guys, take notice, 30 years, keep the truck going. We don't have to buy one every year. But your dedication and commitment to our community has been outstanding, Rodney. Not many people could do what you did over the years, and your patience and understanding. I mean, it takes a commitment on your part, and I really appreciate that. And I don't think we could replace you, to be honest with you.
Come on, a new broom sweeps real good.
Well, a job well done over the years, and the city will miss you.
On behalf of Lake Region Corporation, the city is just been very good to us, and we just never wanted to let nobody down.
Yep. Well,
So
you certainly
we hope
did.
we did a good job.
You did, and your efforts were noticed. I guarantee it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm Melissa Tufstewart. I'm the interim executive director at Lake Region Corporation. And I just wanted to say that we would love to keep that partnership with the recycling. We provide jobs for at least 3 people currently, and that will continue regardless of the recycling, what happens to that. We have talked about that we will come up with that contract of what that looks like. And we will still have those jobs for those individuals. So it just will be at a different, it's just going to be the different location. And so with Rodney retiring and having to be a certified direct support professional and working with the individuals that we work with and the training that has to go through, it's really going to be hard to fill that position. And so currently we have job coaches that do assist our individuals at the Hill, and that will continue. And we can rotate our employees to help support them with curbside recycling.
Well, I'm looking forward to continuing our cooperation and partnerships.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, I do too. Thank you.
So thank you for,
Thank you.
I would just stress, you know, when we do the amended agreement, it'll be upon retirement. So if we bring it on May 5th, you know, it could be a July 1 start, right? So there'll be a month or 2 months where we'll still continue and try to just do the education piece with residents and those sorts of things. But that's currently what we're looking at. We'll bring an amended rates and, you know, we're going to have to talk whether or not we do specific hourly or we just kind of do a flat fee. We'll go back and forth. And I know Alyssa spoke with her board at Lake Region Corp, and you had relayed that they were, you know, supportive of the amended partnership, given where both organizations are at. So, any other questions? Otherwise,
anything?
No.
Okay, thank you.
go on to the next.
And thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, a resolution calling for a special election to empower city commission to approve an additional 0.50% sales tax. So,
Yeah, members of the commission just have a resolution before you that basically just kind of lays out what we've talked about the last, we'll say, 4 or 5 months. Devils Lakes Regional City, huge tourist destination. We have a need to support the long-term viability of the current public safety services that we currently provide. Especially, you know, if we end up cap property taxes, we're almost at the max of sales tax, putting it in the general fund. We've got maybe like 2 or 3 years left to move, but then we would end up in a really tough place. And really the only place that we'd be able to look in the general fund is after a very few low fruit things, public safety services would be a conversation. As far as immediate future facility needs, the location, size of the police department and the quality, not having any garage space, the unknown future of the law enforcement center as it currently stands right now where it is, as well as the long discussed renovations of City Hall and or relocation, depending on what was decided, what would be decided for the police department. Trying to be mindful of recent property tax and sales taxes that that citizens have recently proposed. Therefore, the intention to offset the additional sales tax with subsidization on the utility bill side of things, and then an election date for July 22nd, 2025. Has to be 70 days away from a minimum of 65 days from the calling of the election, which is plenty of time. I made it so that even if we had to do it on May 5th, it would still be plenty of time. Only thing we would have to do really, I'll work up a full timeline of everything that would need to be done and on what days and by what dates for the commission, as far as publishing, assignment, or appointment of elections, judges, those sorts of things. And then dates absentee ballots would be available. We'll have to have a conversation. Well, I did call, and the Memorial Building is open on July 22nd. There's a tentative hold. We'll see. Hopefully we can get that firmly locked down by the county, contingent upon your guys' decision tonight. So that's what I have for you guys, Mayor.
okay,
And July 22nd is a Tuesday in July.
Mhm.
So arbitrarily picked, extended on the date gives us plenty of time to get to action to what we need.
questions, concerns, or?
I just want to make sure that there's a concerted effort for advertisement or like an
Getting the word out, education, yep.
just so they know exactly, so it's not
Nice.
more pressure being put on for them thinking about, the new buildings, but in not knowing so much about the money going into our rainy day fund,
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. that-
We plan on having some of those special meetings to talk to the public, open houses or things of that nature to address those exact things. So they have an understanding of what we actually are trying to accomplish.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about this for the last, 5 months maybe, and I think it's a necessity. I think we have all agreed upon. I think it's something that we need to get out there so we at least voted on.
Mhm.
So where would
Yeah, let the public decide.
Yeah.
We'll educate them the best we can.
Yeah. That's all we can do. So do we need to make a motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I would approve the resolution to call for a special election on July 22nd.
I would like to make a motion to approve the resolution for calling for a special election.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3, reappointment to Shade Tree Committee. Who handles that? Nate? Or Spencer? Okay, or Jason?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, Jason.
First I was told about it, so I'm not judging.
Well, I'll go here and see where they are. It's a
Mr. Mayor-
formality anyhow.
Mr.
isn't
Mayor,
it?
in front of you, you have a memorandum for Devils Lake Shade Tree Committee. On June 13th, we want to recommend reappointment of Terry Wallace and Sarah Late as members of the committee and appoint Jessica Kuntz as member of the committee as well. Their term will expire, as it says here, on June 30th, 2027.
So, okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as written.
Commissioner Hatch,
Second it.
Commissioner Kanowski. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Number 4, transient merchant permit for Janae Bosher for a mobile coffee trailer.
Before we get too far into this, did you end up cutting yourself? There's like
Yeah.
blood stains on here? Did
No,
you-
I
just
think I
go
did have a little
crazy?
one on my finger, yeah.
A
Sorry.
little crazy on the copier, I think, or something.
Oh,
Um, I noticed that when I scanned it, and I was like, double, am I gonna redo this? I'm like, well, I didn't,
Funny.
I'm not gonna make a.
blood mark, okay. That's your new signature, right?
Um,
Sweat, blood, and tears.
Yeah.
You did notice, I didn't know if anybody was noticing. Remember, so we have a transit merchant permit for Janae. She's here. You guys can ask her any questions about her business that she opened, portable coffee shop. The reason it's before you, normally we administratively approve these. But there's a stipulation in state law where if you're selling agricultural products, which they can basically all food, if you're selling food products, you don't need to get a state issued transit merchant permit and the surety bond. And we require that for our permit. And administratively, there's been some of them, I think, that maybe, they've come by and we've recognized that and we haven't. Talking back and forth with the city attorney, we kind of need to get some clarity from the commission as to whether or not, we asked the state, if we asked for the state issued permit, despite the fact it's not required, they would issue one, but it is an extra $200 fee and then plus the money you have to spend to get the surety bond. So really kind of a three options for the commission here. You can just waive the requirement of the transit merchant, the state issued transit merchant permit for transit merchants that are selling egg products for basically food. You can approve this permit in this instance, or if you deny the permit, then you'd have to go get that permit, which would be an extra $200 plus I forget what the fee for the surety bond is. But she's here if you want to ask
Yep.
her about her business.
I think we need to meet this young lady for the new entrepreneurship in town. So if you would come forward, and you don't have to be afraid to speak, I'm sure you'll do just fine. If you'll come, just relax and tell us who you are and what you're trying to do.
I'm Janae Boucher. I am hoping to open a mobile coffee trailer in Devil's Lake. Like he said, I am not required to have that permit through the state. You guys do, well, not you, but the city requires me to have it. And again, it is that extra $200 to submit that fee or that application. And then on top of that, a bond, which I do have insurance through DNS. I can vend outside city limits, fine, just not in city limits.
And you're just setting up through different locations in town? Is that your intent?
Correct, yes. And then within the state of North Dakota and Minnesota, which I'm set in Minnesota
Okay.
already.
Spencer, what does the transient merchant license from the state, is there any more stringent things on that have to be followed with that? When it comes to,
Code or something like
is there two different,
I think I would just say we'll say it's a threshold event that you got to go through to get it right. You have to go through the state of North Dakota to get it. Some people have done it without too many issues. And really it's for those people, they're selling art or soaps or those sorts of things. But the state doesn't require it for like food, if you're selling agricultural products.
okay.
And so I don't know the intent of the commission in the past for requiring that universally. I don't know if it was, hey, we want to raise the threshold for getting a transit permit because we have existing business, all that sort of stuff. However, in this instance, if you guys either permanently want to waive that requirement because the state doesn't require it, if you want to approve it on this instance, or if you say, hey, you want that threshold and that bar, and you want it for this instance to be included, then she would have to go and get that permit.
I just wanted to make sure it didn't give her extra insurance or extra coverage for herself and her business. Like if that was the reason why maybe, or if there was, that's all. So
Is this just for summer or is that winter too, or
Year round.
year round?
Yep.
Okay.
So Janae, is it your insurance, does that cover like, any kind of like health issues, for example? Let's say something happens and, you sell somebody something that doesn't go down real well, you know what I mean? And they get
Mhm.
sick and they want to sue you.
Yes.
Does your insurance cover that?
Yep, liability.
Yeah.
So it'd be the same
It'd be
as
like being bought.
any other coffee shop.
Yep. Just without a bond.
So I know other businesses in the city have complained about these kind of things, because I think part of it is because they complained that it's not a structure, they're not paying property tax.
Yeah.
And that's a big complaint. I know pros complained about that a few times. So do you intend on it being like I know you got here from 4 a.m. to 4 p.m. every day. Is that basically going to be your job? Your basically your job in town is going to
Yes.
be the
Full
coffee
time.
shop.
Yep.
Are you looking at hiring any
Not
other in the future?
in the future, yes. At this moment, and I'm gonna say within the next 2 years, no. In the future, yes. Just to start off, no.
So does this give you free reign to be pretty much anywhere in the city?
Looks like it.
And what kind of cart is it? Is it like
It's a
pull
trailer,
cart?
food trailer,
Oh, food trailer.
coffee trailer. But yes, I would pull it.
I would say for the transit merchant permit to get it for a full year is $500.
Good investment.
Well, that's like they're paying their taxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I don't got a problem with that.
Okay.
You know, I believe in an open market society like this. So, I make a motion to approve it without the North Dakota merchant license.
Okay, we have a
So-
motion by Commissioner Pierce.
So I guess maybe one of the clarifications are you approving it on this one instance? Or are we going to waive that state issued permit or the state issued transit merchant permit for the ag products, which they don't require it moving forward, which means like the food trucks wouldn't need to get that.
Yeah.
So if there's an amended motion you want to make, or if you want to
I'll
clarify.
amend the motion to approve this transit merchant permit with also getting rid of the state merchant license for good for ag products.
Okay. Question?
No, we'll after we. I have a question.
Is there a second for?
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Okay, now discussion.
So can we amend that by saying they have to show proof of insurance at least?
That would.
Because, I mean, that's the only thing health issue. I mean, I know a health board, that's probably my biggest concern.
Yeah, I think it's normally those things are it's
You
kind of an
would think.
obvious low hanging fruit thing. And so we
Yeah.
we will require, but we'll make sure it's written
Yeah,
on there.
you would think that'd be
Yeah.
basic.
And I think that would be,
understanding.
if city attorney was here, I think he would say that that's a, of course, yes, we're going to do, we'll do that.
Well, I'll amend it to add, making sure they have proof of insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Seconded, and any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Good luck. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, item number 5 will be the second reading of ordinance 1006, planning and zoning of Camp Grafton. Zoning Commission.
Okay. Members of the commission, as we talked about in the last meeting, it's just to add a non-voting ex officio member of the Planning and Zoning Commission, which would be the Camp Grafton commander or their designee, primarily so that they're aware of what's going on in the city. We send them the packet. And if there's something that they see that could be concerning to their operations, they have the avenues locally to address the city. And they're hearing it on the front end and not the back end. And there's some things going out the state with the military commission they're forming. And so this is something to, we'll say, supplement or complement what's going on there at the state level. So
Eric, I don't know if she called you yet, but I did let her know. So I just wanted that up for forgot.
Okay.
So do we vote on this?
Yeah, we need a
Second reading.
yeah,
I'll make a
this is-
motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1006.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6, second reading of ordinance 1007, city code 804015, nuisance and the purpose.
Or it basically says why this stuff is important, spelling it out for everybody there. So when they're doing their late night reading of city code, they can see the reasons why we're doing that.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1007, purpose 804015.
Commissioner Pierce, Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 7, second reading of ordinance 1008, city codes 804030, nuisances abatement notice.
Mayor, members of the commission, again, just ordinance that shortens the notice from 8 days to 5 days. And then also, spells out that the city can and will special assess the property to collect the revenue if the bill isn't paid. We did talk at the last meeting about those instances where there's an unpaid bill and then the property changes, but there's a special assessment that's coming and that awkward time. And contingent upon your approval tonight, this week, I will send a letter out to the realtors in the area, encouraging them to inform their clients that that is the city's policy. So if they purchase a house, we're upfront and clear that that is what we do.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 1008.
Commissioner Pierce,
I'll second.
Commissioner Hatch. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 8, second reading ordinance 1009, city code 804050, the nuisances and exemptions.
Just offers an avenue for people that if they feel that the rules and the nuisances and they want to do something that may not comply with city code, they can appeal to the commission for a permit to be in non-compliance and have their day in court. Basically provides an avenue to appeal to the city commission.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1009.
Commissioner Kanowski,
I'll second.
Commissioner Pierce. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 9, second reading ordinance 1010, city code 804060, nuisance, maintaining public nuisance and a penalty.
Basically enacts that penalty clause and turns both of these next two ordinances, they turn the infraction, turn it, if you're not in compliance, we change it from a civil matter to a criminal matter, beginning with infractions. And I think I forget that we talked about, we're going away from the post office as well. We're going to go personal service via the PD to make sure things get there quick and expediently. So, but anyways, as the criminal component and the two infractions. And the B misdemeanor.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 1010.
Commissioner Pierce,
Second.
Commissioner Eulenkamp. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10, second reading of ordinance 1011, City Code 808080, nuisance and penalty.
Pretty much the same thing as the last ordinance, man.
Commissioner Eulenkamp,
I'll second it.
Commissioner Kanowski. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Time for citizen comment. And Arnie, are you here to say anything, or if you do, just identify yourself, please.
Mayor, commissioners, other officials, thank you for letting me have a moment. Looks like you guys are already headed down the path of getting some ordinances, and I'm glad you are. I'm really happy that you are, because I go to Arizona in the winter. For you that don't know, I'm Arnie Berg, and I go to Arizona in the winter. I get a phone call, and there's 6 cars in the lot next to my place. And so my neighbors are calling me and telling me about it. You know the mess that's going on next to your house, and I'm unaware of it. So I called Jim. Well, Jim, he was very helpful. When I get back home, there's only 2. One's on Jackson, and the other one's just sitting on the grass, and pile of tires and a bunch of gas cans and stuff. And so it is quite unsightly. So, but we got a nice neighborhood. We live in a nice neighborhood. But I've noticed other places, and I've talked to other people that have these nuisances. And so, this is not the kind of city we want. And but you guys are already going down the road and the path, and I'm just happy. Just good job. Just keep rolling down the direction you're headed. And while I got the mic, I am going to commend you guys. Perhaps it's mostly Mike, but you guys too, everybody. Our streets are getting very nice. And you guys you've done street projects, and it wasn't very many years ago. Our streets are in pretty tough shape, but right now our streets are pretty nice. So you're doing a good job, fellas. So.
All it takes is money, Arnie. Just pay your taxes.
I've been noticing that. I've been noticing that.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Appreciate the comments.
Thanks, Arnie.
Couldn't let that one. Oh, Kurt, I'm sorry. Yes, please come forward. I didn't, yeah, okay.
It's like a little mouse in the corner.
To address, thank you for the time, commissioners. My name is Kirk Baith, meeting with you as president of the Lake Region Booster Club. Give you an update on the beer garden that you approved last fall. We went through the entire season with no issues at all. Everything went very smoothly. We had a great cooperation with Lotta's and Mr. Deseth, and the bartenders did an excellent job of carding and keeping the area under surveillance, I guess. The police department did an excellent job. We had a little bit of scheduling issues up front, but we panned those out. That was more on our issue with scheduling of hockey games and things like that. So the police department did a great job. Just wanted to let you know, everything went really well. We appreciate you allowing us to have that opportunity. So
that's good to know.
Any questions for me?
Just keep making me a liar.
I hope so.
Well, that's a good way. Yeah.
Yeah. So it went very well. So thank you for giving us the opportunity.
Well, you're going to reapply again next year, I suppose.
We are planning to, yes. We're working on some adjustments to it to make it even better. The area that we used worked out very well. We have a lot of interest in improving that area. We worked with the park board. They were very accommodating as to storage and things like that. We have some new ideas there to make sure we keep it isolated away from the youth, isolated away from anybody who doesn't want to be a part of it. It went very well. So
Was there did you make the money that you thought you were gonna make?
I haven't found that out yet. Mr. DeSeth and I have a meeting, and so I don't know what the numbers are yet.
Was there any negative feedback, any fight from people that attended the games and that they didn't want this, anything like that? They were all pretty receptive of it?
Nobody ever came there or approached us. There were comments. Some people said, they didn't like it. That we had plenty of those comments prior to starting it. But the way we handled it, nothing ever left that area. We had some people that were in the area complain that, well, other places allow us to go here and there.
Yeah.
And we just said, well, we're not doing that because we wanted to keep it under control. We didn't get any complaints of anything in the parking lot because the beverages that we provided there were totally different than anything else you can get. So we monitored that very closely. The college was very happy with how it went because they were very concerned with liability like everybody else was, but it went very smoothly. So they were very happy with it. So it was a very positive experience for the first year. We've had a number of people that came to games that they said they would never come to games without that. Take that for what it is, but it gives people another avenue to go and appreciate it. And we never affected anyone that didn't want to be a part of it. We had about 5% of the arena, and if they didn't want it to affect them, they never even had to notice it. So it went very, very well. Better than I could have expected, actually. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is informational items for the March 2025 finances. The 2025 quarter one fixed asset report, 2025 quarter one economic data. Those are just for information if you want to look them over.
Mayor, if I may comment, I don't mean to keep you guys, but two things on the March finances. We received a little over $1 million, which was the second bucket in the Prairie Dog money. We received that in March this year, as well as we received the remaining about $1.4 million from the escrow account we had joint with the Corps of Engineers for the dike project. And I don't know, Mike, you can spike the football and announce the news to everybody, but the dike project is done. It's over. I'll give Mike the floor since it was his lifetime project.
Not an engineer report, just a quick one.
Well, it's never over, right? We have more things that are coming, but yes.
Yeah, no, it's.
The federal government has turned the dike over completely to us. They released nearly $1.4 million from the escrow account. They're going to turn over another $7,000, $8,000 when we get that all closed out. We're still after the federal government to help us with the operation maintenance expenses associated with our $170 million dike. So we're hoping that goes somewhere. But yes, it's been a
long time
long road. Good. We're very fortunate from a flood protection perspective. I can't tell you how fortunate we are on how robust of a flood protection system that we have in place to protect the city and the surrounding area. We're fortunate with that, even though it's an expensive endeavor, but we have very good flood protection.
Job well done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess with nothing else coming before us, a motion to approve the payment of bills as submitted.
Make a motion to approve the bills as submitted.
Commissioner Kanowski. Commissioner Hatch, okay. All right, you messed up the stamp.
Yeah.
No, okay. Okay, any further discussion?
Yeah, what's the? No, forget it. I got it. Thank you.
Got it?
Yep.
Comfortable?
We can't, Mike.
Okay. Roll call.
Commissioner Pierce.
Aye.
Commissioner Kanowski.
Aye.
Commissioner Hatch.
Aye.
Commissioner Ulican.
Aye.
President Moe.
Aye, motion carried. If there's no other business to come before the commission, meeting adjourned.
Take your